This is All India Radio. Life must go on. All India Radio in collaboration with Vigyan Prasar presents Science Serial Life Must Go On, based on understanding and managing sustainable development. Let's listen to episode number 21, titled Don't Overuse Groundwater.
Mansukh! Mansukh,
Ram Babu,
the machine has been running for quite a while. You've still not got water?
come, sit here.
What happened, Mansukh? You look so run down.
What to say? We've already drilled up to almost 25 meters, but still not a drop of water.
Very surprising. 25 meters?
Yes, my friend. Forgot about water. We haven't even found wet clay.
Oh.
4 years ago, when we drilled for a tube well in front of the peepal tree, we got water at the depth of about 20 meters.
Yeah.
Today, it doesn't produce much water. So we have to dig for a new tube well. But I don't know how deep we'll have to drill.
Then it's a big problem, Mansukh.
Of course it is. Managing daily household work will be a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Without water, how will you manage farming?
Yes.
There is always uncertainty of rain.
But if we have to depend on rain only, then we'll have to give up farming.
Gone are the days, Mansukh, when rain used to come on time.
But if this situation continues, then there will be also scarcity of drinking water.
Of course, Mansukh. Don't you remember? Last summer we had to queue up to get drinking water, as most of the wells had dried up.
Oh, you are right, my friend. Don't know why this groundwater is becoming so scarce. The whole village is suffering.
Yes, Mansukh. We never had this problem in the past. My grandfather tells me that they had never seen water in wells drying up.
But then why it is happening now? Look. Sarpanch is coming.
Yeah.
Let's ask him about this.
Yes.
Namaste,
Namaste, Sarpanji.
Namaste. How are you?
Things are not going well, Sarpanch.
Yes, Sarpanji.
Why? What happened?
You can see, we are drilling for a tube well, but there is no trace of water. If it goes on like this, what will happen?
That's very true. This problem has become quite common these days. We are ourselves responsible for this.
But how are we responsible, Sarpanji?
Look, my friend. We are drawing out underground water without limits. So it has to become less and less. Mansukh, how many tube wells did your grandfather had in this field?
Maybe one or two at the most.
And how many are there now?
1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the fifth one. And there are 5, Sarpanch.
So 2 have become 5. Ram Babu,
Ji, Sarpanji.
you tell me, what is the situation in your farm?
Earlier there were 1 or 2. Now 4 tube wells are running, Sarpanji.
So see, 2 of you now have 5 to 6 more tube wells.
Yes, Sarpanji.
It must be the same for others too. With so many tube wells running, underground water is bound to get depleted.
You are right, Sarpanji, but what to do? We need water to irrigate our farms.
Yes, Sarpanji.
But you should use water judiciously.
What do you mean by judiciously?
Ji, Sarpanji.
Judiciously means you must use only the amount of water needed and run the tube well accordingly. You should not misuse or allow the pumped water to go waste only because of its availability in present.
That's right, Sarpanji. I have seen lot of times water flowing from the tube well with no one even noticing it.
Yes, yes.
You must feel lucky because you are still getting water. Just think of your children. If things go on like this, there may not be any water available in the future.
Sarpanji, people say the Third World War will be fought over water.
They must be right. The situation is becoming really bad. Water scarcity is becoming more widespread.
Sarpanji, tell me, does this underground water always remains there?
Yes, there is always plenty of water available between layers of rocks. We extract this water using tube wells. Technically this water is called groundwater.
How much water is available underground?
My friend, I am not hydrologist who can tell you about this. But if you want to know more, come to the Gram Panchayat office tomorrow afternoon.
Gram Panchayat? What's there in Gram Panchayat office?
Yes.
Garima madam had called from the block development office.
Okay.
She said there is a campaign going on in the village to educate people about groundwater.
Oh.
She told me that a specialist on water resource will be coming. And if you come, you will be able to get answers for all your questions.
Great. This is a great news.
Yeah.
Maybe she can tell us about how to save the fast depleting groundwater.
Yes.
We'll certainly come, Sarpanji.
Yes, Sarpanji. When should we come?
She's coming at 11. I think you should come a little before that.
Oh, yes, Sarpanji. We won't be late. We'll come.
Okay, then see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, Sarpanji. Namaste, Sarpanji.
Namaste. Good. Please have your seats.
Namaste, Sarpanji.
Namaste. It's good, Mansukh, that you have come early.
They will also be reaching soon, Sarpanji.
Yes. I had spoken to them a short while ago. They are on their way.
Yes, Sarpanji. It's good that you have called everyone from the village.
Yes.
We must all know about groundwater, Sarpanji.
Oh yes, you are right. Oh, just see, they have come. Namaskar, madam. Welcome. We are waiting for you.
Namaskar, Sarpanji. How are all of you here?
We are good.
Nice to see and meet all of you.
Madam, we are fine, but some water problem.
Water problem?
Yes, madam.
Oh, don't you worry at all. Look, he's Dr. Manoj with me. Dr. Manoj is a specialist on water resources and he's going to help you in solving all your problems.
Namaskar, Dr. Sahib. Have your seat, Dr. Sahib. Have your seat.
Come, Dr.
Namaskar to all of you. My sincere thanks to all of you.
Madam, we have many people assembled here. Let's begin.
I can look. There's so many people assembled here. Definitely. Let's begin, Sarpanji.
Okay. Friends, let me first introduce our guest to you. This is Garima, who is the village development officer of our area.
Namaskar.
You all know her already. With her is Dr. Manoj, who is expert on water resources.
Namaskar.
I welcome both of you on behalf of the Gram Panchayat. As we know, the problem of water is becoming worse every day. Today, Garima and Dr. Manoj will tell us about water, especially about groundwater. If you have any questions about groundwater, you may ask our guests. First, I will request Garima ji to share her views with the villagers.
Thank you, Sarpanji. Friends, there has been a program on conservation of groundwater running for some time now. I hope all of you know about it. Yeah, it's nice to know this. Under this program, people of different villages are being given all necessary information about this subject. And we both have come to your village for this purpose only.
Madam ji, Madam ji, we don't understand why groundwater has become such a big problem.
You are right. Look, depletion of groundwater is a serious problem of the modern times. And you know, there are many reasons for depletion of the same.
Many reasons?
Yes, of course. The main reason is that we have been using groundwater exceeding our limit. And we have made no efforts yet to recycle the wastewater discharged by the industrial plants. Yeah, this is a serious problem. And apart from getting depleted, groundwater is also getting polluted. This is becoming a very, very serious problem.
Madam ji, what did you say? Underground water getting polluted? We always thought pollution remains only at the surface.
Yes.
You are right. But largely, most of the groundwater resources in our country are unpolluted. And this is not so everywhere, dear. Underground water is getting increasingly polluted nowadays. And to make matters worse, the level of many substances in groundwater that are harmful for our health, they are increasing. Polluted water is affecting the entire environmental system. It is a matter of great concern.
Yes.
You're right, ma'am. But what are the substances responsible for polluting groundwater?
Substances like arsenic, fluoride, iron and nitrate, they are mainly responsible for polluting groundwater. And do you know, of all of them, arsenic is considered the most dangerous substance.
My God.
At least 10 states of our country are mostly affected by arsenic pollution. 10 states? Yes, they are Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Assam, Manipur and Karnataka.
So many?
Yes,
But ma'am, what is the reason for groundwater getting polluted?
there are many, many reasons, dear. For example, domestic sewage, septic tank waste, waste from industries, all of them are responsible. And apart from these, excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides is also a major reason. You know, fertilizers, pesticides, they cause a high level of pollution in underground water. You must be using pesticides and fertilizers, don't you?
yes.
What about you, Rambabu?
Yes, madam. Dr. Sahib, please tell us how much water is there underground. It must be quite large, huh?
Rambabu, you are quite right. Let me tell you, we measure the volume of water in terms of cubic meters.
Cubic meter?
See, I'll tell you. Let me tell you. 1 cubic meter is the amount of water contained in a box measuring 1 meter in length, 1 meter in breadth, and 1 meter in height.
Oh, okay.
It is estimated that India maintains an annual reserve of about 440 billion cubic meters of water underground.
Oh, 400.
But of this, about 35 billion cubic meters is lost due to seepage. As a result, about 400 billion cubic meters of groundwater is available for the entire country.
Dr. Sahab, so much water. But Dr. Sahab, where does all that water comes from?
See, the largest source of groundwater is rainwater. Almost 70% of groundwater comes from the rains. The rest of 30% is contributed by other sources such as rivers, canals, lakes, etc. some groundwater also comes from irrigation water.
Dr. Saab, if so much water is going underground, why should we worry about scarcity?
Why should
No. See, Bhai Sahab, there is a lot of cause for worry because we are drawing out much more water from the ground than is going underground.
Huh?
As a result, the water table is falling steadily.
Wait, Dr. Saab. Water table? What's that water table? Huh?
Listen carefully, I'll tell you. Water table is the depth at which we can find water underground. If we find water at a depth of 10 meters, then the water table is 10 meters below the surface. At some places, the water table sometimes drops sharply, making wells and tube wells dry up.
That means the water table in our village has dropped sharply. These days I'm getting a tube well dug, but there is no sign of water, even at the depth of more than 25 meters.
See? 25 meters. Then I must say, the situation in your village is becoming very serious.
God?
Silence. Sir, what is the normal level of water table?
See, Sarpanji, it varies from place to place. The Water Resource Ministry of the Government of India has constituted a central groundwater board. This board measures the water table in different parts of the country every year. Its report was published last year only.
And what did the report say about the water table?
See, on the basis of a survey, approximately 14,770 wells, the average depth of water table was found to be between 2 and 20 meters. Although in some places it was found to be more than 100 meters.
100 meters? It's quite a depth, Dr. Saab.
You're absolutely right, Rambabu. The lowest water table was found in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra, where water was found at a depth of more than 153 meters. At some places in Delhi and Rajasthan, water was found at depths of more than 40 meters. Compared to previous years, the water table has dropped in most places except just a few.
Dr. Saab, is it so bad in all the states?
No. It's not like that. In some states like Assam, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Gujarat, the water table is only at 2 meters.
2 meters? 2 meters? Wow.
See? Water is easily available in these regions. But if enough care is not taken, the water table will drop in these places too.
Oh, no. Dr. Saab, then what should we do to maintain the water table?
Good question, Rambabu. The first thing we have to do is to ensure the recharge of groundwater. That is, I'll tell you. That is, we may keep drawing groundwater for our use, but we also have to devise ways to maintain the groundwater level.
But Dr. Saab, we have to draw groundwater to meet our needs.
You're right, Hira, but you have to ensure that you don't waste it. I mean, we may use the groundwater, but we also have to think of ways of preserving it. I've already told you that the main source of groundwater is the rain.
Right, sir.
But at present, most of the rainwater goes waste. It flows into the sea where it no more remains of any use to us.
Dr. Saab, how can we stop rainwater from flowing away? What are you saying, Dr. Saab?
Why not, Rambabu? In olden times, villagers used to dig large pits in which rainwater was collected. And that rainwater slowly seeped into the ground. It was a valuable means of recharging groundwater.
Yeah. I remember. In my paternal village, I had seen such pits. But later, they all became useless. Trees were planted around the pits, and today, even the trees are not there.
That's right. You see, trees and vegetation, they also help retain rainwater. But the these days, neither can we see large pits for collecting rainwater, nor the groves of trees. And all this has severely affected our groundwater.
But Madam Ji, if water does not seep underground, then the water table can only go down.
You've said it right, Hira. On one hand, less water is going underground, and on the other, the use of groundwater is increasing.
Yes,
True.
If there is enough recharge, then increasing use will not be harmful. But if recharge is less than consumption, then the situation can only become worse.
This way, water available underground will only become less and less. Doctor Saab, is there a way to find out past and present status of groundwater?
Of course, of course. We can find out from the percentage of groundwater withdrawal.
How?
See, suppose in a year, the amount of water from different sources going underground is 100 liters, and we draw out only 70 liters. Then the percentage of groundwater withdrawal will be 70, which is quite safe. But if we withdraw 120 liters when the recharge is only 100 liters, then the percentage of groundwater withdrawal will be 120, which is a serious situation.
Dr. Saab, are there places where withdrawal is more than recharge?
Yes, there are. Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan are 4 states where withdrawal of groundwater exceeds the recharge amount. The situation is becoming very grave in these states.
Then what is the situation in other states?
See, Sarpanji, the situation in Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Puducherry, and Tamil Nadu is also worrying. These states are withdrawing more than 70% of the recharge amount, which is considered the safe limit. The tendency to withdraw groundwater indiscriminately can have serious consequences in the future.
You are right. If underground water is used up so fast, there will be little water available in the future.
But here, do we use so much water?
You may be surprised to know, Mansukh, that all of you use too much of groundwater.
We?
Yeah.
But we use it only for irrigation.
Yes, that's true. But do you know, in Uttar Pradesh, for example, almost 70% of the irrigated land is dependent on groundwater.
Garma ji is absolutely right. You may be surprised to know that worldwide more than 2.5 billion people are engaged in agriculture. And in India alone, more than 270 million people are in some way or the other in agriculture or farming.
True.
That's all right. But other people also must be using groundwater.
Of course. You know, in some states, as much as 80% of drinking water is provided by groundwater. And besides, as much as 85% of water requirement of some industries, it is met by groundwater only. And if we continue depleting this groundwater in such a manner, then how will industries run in future?
Yes. That's right, Garima madam. After all, water, land, and forest are intimately linked.
Yes.
We all use water, but no one pays enough attention to the way we use it.
True.
Neither we nor the industrial barons.
Let me tell you an interesting fact. At the time of independence, only about 20% of the arable land had facilities for irrigation. But today, the figure is more than 35%.
35%.
That means if we are careful about irrigation, we can save a lot of groundwater.
That's right, Mansukh. You're absolutely right. But for this, it is necessary to change the methods of irrigation also. During the past few years, water for irrigation from canals and ponds, etc., it has also come down.
But Madam Ji, when ponds have disappeared from villages and canals are going to dry, what can we do?
This is the apt question. You know, it is a hard fact. The situation in cities is still worse. You'll be surprised to know that people over there may not be using groundwater directly, but they get piped water, which is actually the groundwater carried to homes by pipe from a distance.
Yes, that's right. We must remember it is our responsibility to save the ponds in our villages. And no government scheme can work without the active participation of the public.
Right.
If you have problems with ponds and canals, you can talk to us. We'll solve the problems.
Thank you.
So, now we should all take a pledge. We should take care that we don't waste groundwater anymore.
Correct, madam.
In fact, I'll say that we must stop the wastage of water from any of the resources.
You are absolutely right, Madam Ji.
And Sarpanchi, we also have to renovate our old ponds and dig the new ponds. We have to build check dams to store rainwater, create new forest areas, and conserve existing forests to restore and maintain groundwater levels.
Yay! Very good.
Very well said, Garmaji. But at the same time, we also have to pay attention to the crops that we grow.
True.
In places where there is continuous fall in groundwater level, we have to think of those crops which need less water.
Dr. Saab, you have opened our eyes. We have been harming our own cause by recklessly depleting groundwater. Now we'll keep your advice in mind and use the available groundwater judiciously. Yes, thank you, Doctor.
You are right, Mansukh. I will also try at the panchayat level to promote construction of ponds for recharging groundwater. We should also use rainwater as much as possible for raising the level of groundwater. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Life must go on. You were listening to the 21st episode of this science serial produced by All India Radio in collaboration with Vigyan Prasar, titled Don't Overuse Groundwater. Coordinators were Dr. R. Gopichandran and Dr. B.K. Tyagi. Research and script Srinivas Oli. This episode was directed by Sudarshan Kumar. Presented by Dilip Jha. Recording and mixing Sharad Sharma. The participating artists were Nikhil Diwan, Sumit Khosla, Gaurav Devgan, Vaibhav Srivastav, Pragya Jha, and Mamta Malkani. Hey listeners, please stay with us. Here are 2 questions for you. The lucky winner will get attractive prize from Vigyan Prasar. The first question is, what is the reason of groundwater depletion? And the second question is, what is the term used for measuring water? You can send in your answers by simple post. Our address is Science Serial Life Must Go On, All India Radio, room number 615, New Broadcasting House, Sansad Marg, New Delhi 110001. You can also write on our email ID radio@vigyanprasar.gov.in. Please do write in or mail us your full name, age and profession. If associated with any science club, then do let us know the membership of your club. If you have got any query or question related to this, don't hesitate to write to us. We will be back again with the next episode of this science serial. Life must go on. Same day, same time, next week. Till then, goodbye.